Welcome to Mainstream Matchups, and thanks for listening in. I'm your host, Tyler James. Mainstream Matchups is a podcast to discuss, analyze, and debate sports and sports news. This morning, we welcome Chris Young, former football player, now D-line coach at Highland High School, and Sam D, soccer coach, trainer, and tactics fanatic at DOF Soccer Academy, and head coach of the fantastic U11 Shakopee boys team. So we're here to talk about Week 2 NFL matchups and much more. I'm really excited. First up we got is Patriots versus Jaguars, the AFC title rematch from last year. What will be different from this game, Chris?
Nothing too much. I definitely think the Patriots are going to come into this game with a strong, heavy offense. They looked good last week. Can't really say much more about that. Not paying too much attention to the Patriots.
Do you expect more, the same, or less from Chris Hogan this week against the Jaguars?
Well, speaking as Brunk's getting heavy on the offense and Chris Hogan being number 2 target, you have Philip Dorsett after that, who's, I think, a second year?
Second or third year.
I'm not really relying on him if I'm Tom Brady. I'm going with my heavy second target if he's open most of the time. So I think Chris Hogan's going to get a heavy week.
Got you. Gronkowski last week did finish with 7 receptions, 123 yards, and a touchdown. So I am curious to see how Jalen Ramsey is going to be able to match up with that. Leonard Fournette left Sunday's game early with a hamstring injury. What type of impact do you think that's going to make?
Well, with the Patriots having a good defense, especially in the interior line, I think you can't really run the ball too much without getting banged up anymore. So I think they're going to really stick to passing a little bit more and having a good defense like the Patriots have. The Jaguars they're not going to get anything too big.
You don't think being at home will help them out at all?
I mean, it's going to be a closer game because of that. I don't think it's going to be a really high scoring game.
Gotcha. Who do you have winning that match? Patriots. You got a score?
Yeah, I do actually. It's a little contradictory to what I said, but it's going to be 32-21.
Got you. Me, on the other hand, I have the Jaguars at home. I think they're going to go ahead and upset a lot of people's dreams right now. I think it's going to be 17-21. Close game. Don't get me wrong. Tom Brady, excellent QB. The parts around him a little questionable right now. I'm curious to see how the Jaguars will take advantage. Next matchup we got is the Colts versus the Redskins. How you feeling about that? We got Andrew Luck versus Alex Smith.
I'm going with Alex Smith. I like Alex Smith when he was with the 49ers. I think he was good. I think he was a little bit more of a serious quarterback, serious presence on the field. Chiefs, he had a little bit more weapons though. I don't remember when Patrick Mahomes stepped up. I know he got one game in last year, so I think either Alex Smith played the whole year. I wasn't really paying too much attention, but I'm liking him with this Washington offense. He's going to create a lot of plays for them.
I agree. The Redskins that I'm looking at right now are that duo at that running back with Adrian Peterson and Chris Thompson, man.
What? Adrian Peterson is playing there now?
Yeah, man.
He had a great week. First week, he had over 100 and, 20 yards.
Oh, scrimmage yards. Yeah, I think he had 26 carries for 96 yards, a touchdown.
So, since he's left the Vikings, has he just remained just killer?
No, he hasn't had a defined game like this for a while, I would think.
He did pretty well at Arizona. I think he went to the Saints right after, and that didn't really work out for him. Then he went to the Cardinals, played there for a year. Then now he is with the Redskins. Yep, the Redskins.
Is it just injuries? A lot of injuries.
I think we just spaced out because of his contract and getting in trouble for a little bit.
A lot has to do with age.
He was just getting washed down the line for a little bit after the Vikings.
Yeah, and the other player I wanted to highlight from that running back duo is Chris Thompson. Man, he is a live wire in that third down back role. He got 5 carries for 65 yards, adding 6 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. Do you think they're going to be able to sustain that production throughout the year?
I don't know if that has to say Cardinals have a bad defense or these guys can put up better numbers. Are you looking at all the components factoring together and meshing very well, or just a bad defense? So I'm not really considering last year.
The Colts with Andrew Luck, you would think getting that first game out of the way, you think he is going to have much more improvement this second round. Do you agree?
Hopefully, because Andrew Luck, he came out with the draft good. I mean, he stepped up in that Colts uniform and actually made plays, actually won a couple games. I think that was around the time when their coach was really sick too, so they were just down on morale, and I think he pulled through and had good games. But like, is he reliable after a huge shoulder injury? You know, like took him out for a full year.
Yeah,
Full
he's
year,
got a ways to come back.
Yeah, I got a question, right?
What's up?
So I was watching my first game in a super long time. It was the Gophers game.
Yep.
And then they were playing this, I forget what they call it.
New Mexico. It was last week?
Yeah,
Or
it
like
was-
a couple weeks ago?
I don't remember who he was, but like they were doing this play where they replaced the quarterback with the running back, and they literally drove it for like 8 plays, and then just kept running.
Wildcat offense?
Yeah, that's the Wildcat, right? That's what they call it.
Yep.
Like, why don't you do that every time? The other team literally knows what you're going to do, and it works every time. Why not?
There's a lot of options that you can
Yeah.
do from that position. Who do you have winning the Colts at the Redskins? I'm curious.
I have Redskins 24-12.
Really, I think Andrew Luck actually is going to put in a really good effort against a good Redskins defense, but I think it's going to be a close 28-24. Our next matchup is Texans versus Titans. So you have Deshaun Watson versus Marcus Mariota, possibly. Blaine Gabbert, possibly.
He was there Wednesday until yesterday. He's been at everything so far. So I think Marcus Mariota is going to come up clutch. I'm calling it 24-17 the Titans.
Okay.
I think Marcus Mariota is going to cap this game off. It's going to be a situation where Adam Rodgers fell off, came back in that second half. I think these quarterbacks are just showing a trend of being tough. I think they want to make sure that people know.
Sounds good. I agree. I look forward to seeing Deshaun Watson come back from a 17 for 34 for 176 yards, 1 touchdown, and an interception, and also lost a fumble there. For those who, fantasy-wise speaking, who lost Delaney Walker this week, the next on the tight end depth chart for you is Jonnu Smith. I think he's available in almost 98% of leagues, so you better go and get him. He's going to be good production and probably going to be that security blanket for Mariota down the road. Next matchup we got is Eagles versus the Buccaneers. How you feeling about this game, Chris?
Ryan Fitzpatrick. Is this like what people say when someone is about to die and they get that last glimpse of life? Is this Ryan Fitzpatrick's last glimpse of life before he retires?
This might be the light at the end of the tunnel. I am not sure, but he did put up 417 yards, which was considered a good defense that the Saints were coming in for the past 2 years. They've been decent. But now, again, you're going against an Eagles defense, which is much more formidable, I believe.
I don't think it's going to be too much for Ryan Fitzpatrick. If he's hot, man, he's going to put the ball in the right places.
Do you think Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson are the real deal this year?
I think Mike Evans is definitely going to step it up. So. I mean, he has to. As a fourth-year player, he has to start showing up or looking for someone else.
And on the other hand, with the Eagles, Nick Foles is going to get the start again over Carson Wentz, who still hasn't been cleared for contact. How you feeling about his outlook for this game?
You got to remember, like the Bucs, they let up just as many points. You got to think like the Bucs probably don't have that good of a defense compared to Nick Foles was capable of during the Super Bowl. You know, so I'm looking forward to see. I mean, it's Alshon Jeffrey back.
I think he's questionable right
He's
now.
questionable. So then you got like
just gotta watch.
Yeah, Mike Wallace. What is he gonna do? He's like their secondary receiver, and he didn't get anything last week.
Yeah,
So,
I believe he had 1 target, 0 catches. Yeah. For that you said the Buccaneers are going. Do you have a score for that?
yeah, I do actually 34-21.
34-21, and I'm actually saying the
Go
Eagles
that
are going to come beat the Bucs. I don't think Fitz magic is going to last. I think it's all an illusion.
Oh,
But
man.
you know that Eagles defense is really going to test them, and I think it's going to turn out to be 28-14. Next matchup we got is Browns versus the Saints. Drew Brees versus Tyrod Taylor. I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's going to be a high-scoring matchup. Both defenses are pretty poor. Browns' defense actually looked pretty decent against the Steelers, which is a high-octane offense, so I can't say too much.
Right.
Saints went against the Buccaneers, but how do you think Alvin Kamara is going to be used in this game?
You know that's going to be their go-to man. Last week I really didn't pay too much attention to the Saints, but I did pay attention to the Browns. I think the Browns defense just got to step it up better. I mean, sealing the game away and not letting them come back was their fault. Definitely turning it into overtime was a huge step up for the defense. But why that late in the game?
Yeah. Like I said, Alvin Kamara looks absolutely legit. 8 rush yards,
Right.
29 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also 9 receptions for 112 yards and 1 touchdown. That's better than
Right.
your best wide receiver probably on your fantasy team right now. I want to see that production being able to be upkept. Do you see the Browns having a more successful season than the Steelers?
I guess that's hard to say this year.
Too early.
Yeah, I think the Browns will have a better season than last year, though. That's for sure. I think Jarvis Landry definitely adds a little bit more pizzazz to the line of wide receivers and wide receiver core they have.
They also got Josh Gordon back, and
Josh Gordon
once
back.
he gets off the snap count, that'll be nice to see him back out there. I know he's been battling a lot. Prayers out to him. Something that I noticed is I think the Saints are going to win pretty easy at home, 35-20. What you think?
I'm saying Browns 28-14.
Really? I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it, man. Drew Brees with that offense is going to put up too many points for that Browns to cash.
Defense showed in the late game that they can step up. They just got to.
Better hope so.
I mean, gunslingers sling, man. You're not saying that Ben Roethlisberger isn't slinging in overtime? What?
Yeah, that's also
He's
last
going
week,
nuts in
though.
overtime,
See, but
though.
he's got to deal with Tyrod now. That's a little different. I think that's a different caliber QB if you talk to me. Chargers versus the Bills. So we got Phillip Rivers versus Josh Allen will get the start over Nathan Peterman. How do you think Nathan Peterman did last week?
I did not. That's something I did
So,
not look at.
Yeah, not noteworthy. Let's put it that way. Okay. So
That is heartbreaking. Josh Allen this week, though.
In what?
In fantasy.
Oh,
I had to pick
God.
him up. He was the only quarterback available for me.
That sounds like a nightmare. Do
I
you think he has a chance against that is a sturdy defense with the Chargers right now?
That is.
In all facets, man, they got it. They got the line, they got the linebackers, and they got that secondary. So I'm just curious how.
Some guys accept the role, definitely step up. Maybe this is that Bills are looking for. Like maybe this is what their offense has been needing.
Well,
Just a fresh quarterback.
I was gonna say I see the Bills hoping and praying on this one because they want to see a result like probably over there in New York from the Jets with Sam Darnold because he looked nice, man. He looked nice.
All right.
Who you got winning that game?
I actually got the Chargers. I got the Chargers at 35-10.
Oh wow, blowout. Yeah, I also have the Chargers 28-3. I just don't see how Josh Allen gets it done. Offensively for the Chargers, I don't see how they stop them. It's just all bad. Be a Bills fan right now.
It is.
Our next matchup, we got the Vikings and the Packers. I know Sam D over here is a big Vikings fan, so I know he's going to want to talk about this division rivalry, right? Who do you think's going to win?
Man, I like the Vikings, but the Packers have always had the upper hand on the Vikings. So, being that I haven't really paid attention, I'm gonna go with the Packers.
Okay. You think it'll be a close game, or you think they're just going to blow us out over there at home
I'm
at Lambeau?
I'm hearing all kind of issues with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if it's his knee. I don't know. Some say that the coach doesn't really have as much faith, but Aaron Rodgers says he's got it. But it's warm, right? It's not as cold as it normally is in Green Bay, so I think we have a better chance.
So that plays into our advantage. I thought we were Minnesota cold, man. You're telling me Wisconsin can handle the cold better than us?
Yeah, but we have a dome, I think, for the most part.
I think it opens slightly. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it just.
It's more indoor, yeah.
It's more indoor.
Right? And I've been to the Green Bay one. It looks like it was made like by real men, like industrial type. Like it was. I'm not saying that the other
My
one not,
goodness.
but I'm saying like the.
I thought you were a Viking fan.
I'm saying the
Oh.
stereotype, of like
Right.
Real construction.
I'm gonna
man
have to
and
go to
stuff like that.
Lambeau. I would want to.
It looks like it wasn't made for any kind of comfort, bro.
I feel like I
God,
mischaracterized
that
Sam D as a Vikings fan. I feel like he is clearly on the side of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre.
I do not.
My.
I do not like these guys at all. I do not like these guys at all.
How do you think Kirk Cousins is gonna do?
Oh, dude, I do not know, but I hope he gets. I hope he really sticks it to them, man. I really still.
That's beautiful, Chris. How do you think Kirk Cousins is gonna do after his debut? Of a good win.
Let's see. I think he's gonna really step up to the plate, especially against the Packers. But if that Packers second quarter defense comes out in the first quarter of next week at home, I'm not naming names specifically because I haven't really looked at it. But at a performance base, they shut that big offense up. They shut it up. They scored late, and that's how that Packers team won. If that really shows up tomorrow, I mean, Kirk Cousins isn't a Mitch Trubisky, but Kirk Cousins is better than Mitch Trubisky. not like that offense really exposed anything on their defense.
I know this isn't like really deep football stuff, but I know that like from what I've seen, the Vikings have always lacked like that offensive like team that can go every. You know, what I mean, that can be consistent. Sometimes they get
Last
it, sometimes they don't. If I feel like if they have that, because like Green Bay always has that, too. They will throw it, and you know they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. They're gonna. Sometimes they'll miss, but most likely they're gonna get it. We always had like a team after the third, you know.
I completely agree. Aaron Rodgers
agree.
is the difference there for your off.
You're right though.
A few years ago, it did look very suspect. It looked almost high schoolish offense. It was the defense or nothing kind of for us for a while. I'm glad, under Mike Zimmerman's role, he's whipping them into shape, man. We look like a title contending team.
Yeah, that's fun to watch. Man, that was the frustrating thing. I'm like, dang, why? You know, the other team is getting it 3 minutes, and then we get it for like 30 seconds, and then it's over. Or it's a touchdown. So like, it's not very good for the heart either, man.
Right.
I was gonna say I see it as a close game. I have the Vikings winning 24-17. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers can do with the sprained knee. I honestly think because he's going to be committed to his pocket and not be able to scramble like he usually does to make his big plays, I just see him as a punching bag for the Vikings defense.
I just remember when Brett Favre was literally a zombie out there, just running with the bad ankle, all that. Like, what are these guys made out of?
I don't know. He's a human. He's just like you.
He's probably like 90% scar tissue.
Right, man. This dude like broke a rib or something. Remember we went to like the Steelers or something like that, and that was an offense.
Jared Allen ran into like a referee.
Bro, that was an offense, man. That was like there was no justice in that, bro.
Let's get a little bit back on track. We got our next matchup, and that's the Panthers versus Falcons. Another divisional game. I think this can shape the NFC South. Honestly, if Falcons lose this game, they become 0-2. Do you think they have a way to get out of this strong division to go to the playoffs?
I think that's a little early to ask.
It's too early? You think so?
Game two.
Okay.
I mean, the Falcons won last week, but the Panthers win? They did. They beat the Cowboys. Yeah.
Falcons didn't win.
Against the Eagles?
Yeah, they lost.
They lost? Oh, so yeah, you're right. 0-1, yeah. Okay,
so they're 0-1 right now.
Yeah.
Panthers are 1-0.
Panthers are 1-0.
Because they beat Dallas,
and
yeah.
They look good against Dallas. I mean, a lot of the time it was Cam. Cam just running the ball, or throwing short passes.
Do you think that offense can evolve to be able to use Christian McCaffrey more in between the tackles?
I think they need to. I think he's like a more dominant version of what Danny Woodhead could have been, or what Danny Woodhead was Chargers the first couple of years.
What type of usage do you see C.J. Anderson getting, or do you think he's more or less?
Well, I know C.J. Anderson got like 13 carries for almost like 70 yards.
Pretty impressive performance.
He had a decent performance. I mean. But if he's filling in the cracks that Christian McCaffrey isn't, then is Christian McCaffrey a workhorse, or is he just a high performer?
Yeah.
When you need him to.
They seem to use him specifically in a passing role, so I'm just curious to see them. Because I think he got about 100-some carries, which is, I think, just not enough.
Exactly.
Greg Olsen re-injuring that Jones fracture. That's Cam Newton's number one option in that offense. How do you see the Panthers being able to come back from that?
You just hope your next tight end steps up after that. Assumes the role. If Carolina, they probably have somebody because
that'd be Ian Thomas. That'd be their next up. Which again, another person in fantasy leagues who is like I'm saying 98% available in leagues right now. Like you can go get him. And at least you know Cam Newton loves his tight ends. Ed Dixon came in last year, and he was putting up viable fantasy numbers, so that's what I know. Who do you have winning that game, and what score you got?
I got Panthers winning the game 24-10 with Christian McCaffrey going off on that Falcons defense. I really think he's going to be the guy that they throw to because they don't really have a heavy rush defense. You know, their interior line is going to just fail if you just go up the middle a bunch. I think it's going to crumble away, and Christian McCaffrey is going to finish with at least 13 carries, or 13 or less, but no more than 10.
Gotcha. I think with the Falcons, their defense took some hits. Keanu Neal and their linebacker, I think Deion Jones, if I'm not mistaken. They both took injuries in their Week 1 games. I think that's going to impact them, but I don't see the Panthers' defense being able to stop the Falcons' offense. I don't see them stopping Julio. I think Matt Ryan will have a good game, and I see it being a 14-28, taking the win at home. Next matchup, Dolphins versus Jets.
Sam Darnold had a really good game last week.
Against a bad Lions defense.
Yeah, against
I
exactly.
didn't see anything from Matt Patricia's team that would warrant me to be like, oh yeah, Sam Darnold's the next new coming of Aaron Rodgers. But
right.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Dolphins defense looks good. They're supposed to be legit. They're supposed to be coming back from being something to worry about a couple of years ago to not really being that team, to those players growing up last year. So I really think Dolphins have a good chance, but again, if their defense comes away and Sam Darnold is the thing, that's coming up on this.
Gotcha. I disagree. I think the Dolphins have a better defense than the Lions do, and I think they have better packages. That's going to confuse the rookie. I think Sam Darnold is going to have a very good career, just maybe not a very good rookie career. But I have the Dolphins winning 20-7. I just don't see that Jets offense really getting anything going.
Jets winning 28-10, man.
I am curious to see what Jets is going to be the primary receiver. We had Robbie Anderson as their number 1 wide receiver, but Quincy Enunwa, he was getting all the targets. Next matchup we got is the Chiefs versus the Steelers. Pat Mahomes played extremely well in his debut, throwing 4 touchdowns, 256 yards, and he looked like he had a great rapport with Tyreek Hill, who looked good.
And great.
Yeah, exactly.
For no interceptions. He threw 256 yards with no interceptions.
I think he was 15 of 27.
Yep, 15 for 27.
So obviously he's not hitting the best accuracy, but he's not throwing it to the other team.
Exactly.
That's something that you can say. I am curious to see how the Steelers' defense and how the Chiefs' defense are going to be able to stop each other. I just see this being a high offensive game. Man, this could reach a lot. That's what I see. What do you see?
Definitely see the same thing. And they're going to be at Steelers at Pittsburgh. It's sad right now. They're not playing good.
Yes, this is true. I am a little concerned. Travis Kelce last week, he had 1 catch for 6 yards. I just don't understand how you have a weapon like Travis Kelce, yet you targeted him, I think, 3 times. What's up with that?
Well, obviously, Pat Mahomes, he didn't make any bad decisions. So maybe hitting Travis Kelce wasn't a good decision at the time. Maybe that's what limited him.
Do you think they're going to make a more concerted effort to get him involved this next game?
Definitely. I'm definitely going to try to get that guy out there if I was them.
Gotcha.
That's going to be one of the bigger targets for this week because he didn't do anything last week.
True. And I have this game at 38-42, but like I said, this could be a lot to a lot.
Right.
And I have the Steelers winning. At home.
Steelers winning at home.
I have the Steelers winning. Tell me who's going to stop Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster. I'll wait.
But you know what? I do have that offense.
So you're just hoping that your offense is better than my offense.
That offense is going to calibrate just. All right, it's going to be Chiefs.
My offense
35-28 Steelers.
Gotcha. Our next matchup is the Cardinals versus the Rams. Rams looked very strong in that second half against the Oakland Raiders, while the Cardinals really couldn't do much against what seems to be a legit Redskins team. What do you see with Sam Bradford going against the Rams?
I don't see anything good for Sam Bradford other than got to get Larry's last year out there. I mean, he's probably not this year, but he could possibly, if he has a good, successful season. But I'm not seeing Sam Bradford being that quarterback. I mean, the normal range of catches were all 7-yard outs, just little bubbles that went out for 6 yards. It was nothing really impressive. He didn't make any deep threats, and he never really got targets down the field.
Gotcha. Who you got winning that one?
Yeah, Rams, 28-14. I made a note about Todd Gurley. I really think Todd Gurley had a good week last week. Pretty healthy. He's coming back, and I think he has a really good chance crushing this Cardinal defense.
I got the Rams winning as well. I just don't see the Cardinals have really no type of offense other than Larry Fitzgerald. The Rams look solid on both offense and defense. Defensively, all 3 facets there solid. Probably one of the most favored teams right now, I think, to make it to the Super Bowl and probably win.
Being a team that went and got shut out in the first week, being that team the next year, just having that momentum going forward, I definitely think
What were we gonna say?
I was just gonna make another note about the Cardinals defense. Letting AP go. How old is AP now? How does that-
33 years old. That's AP. That's AD all day.
That was AD all day. When was the last time he had a game where he scored a touchdown?
No wonder he is
Not
sick
on the
of
third.
sick of
not on third
everybody
down.
talking stuff because of his age, man.
He's old.
So is Le'Veon Bell old?
How old is Le'Veon Bell?
He's 26. He's about to be 27. Is that old?
I think
They're
that's
not-
well aged. I think
That's
getting
why
well
they're not.
aged.
That's
I
why
think-
they're not paying him.
I think 27 for football players. 29, 30.
You know,
Those could be your golden years if you never got injured.
you know what's crazy? He is losing $853,000 every time he doesn't play a game. Every time he doesn't play a game, that man loses damn near $1 million. I am. You want to pass some of that over here? I'll go take a hit for $1 million.
Right?
I probably will only make it that one hit, but you know that's $1 million hit right there. Whew. We got our next matchup: Lions versus the 49ers. Both QBs had a rough week one. Matthew Stafford ceded 4 interceptions to a Jets defense, and Jimmy G 3 interceptions to one of the best defenses in the NFL. So.
Exactly.
What do you think's the biggest difference? Is that it?
I think Jimmy G got stuck up. That's what it was. That Vikings defense is legit. It's been legit. It's gonna be legit for a little bit longer. But he got the crappy end of the stick. I mean, you're not gonna throw it to your own side. Who are you gonna get over there? Your number one receiver's over there.
I understand. 49ers a little unfortunate in the beginning of the season. They lost Jerick McKinnon. They signed him
Right
to
away.
a 3-year, $40 million deal.
So that just falls away from the team.
Do you think they can sustain success with Matt Breida and Alfred Morris, or do you think they're kind of in
Possibly.
trouble?
I mean, you can use a double back system. I mean, if Matt Breida is your first down running back, you try to open up with him. You know, you try to either go in the middle or you go outside. I like that. Second down and short, third down and short. No, I'm going with Alfred Morris. So I definitely see that combination working.
Gotcha. Raiders versus Broncos. I don't really know. Broncos look strong in their 2018 debut, both offensively and defensively. Raiders had a strong showing in the first half to pretty much dwindle to do nothing in the second half. How will the Raiders compete for an entire game instead of just a half?
I think Derek Carr's showing just signs of uncomfortableness. You know, I think he's got to get back and he's got to get used to that offensive pocket feel. I think he's got to start spreading out his receivers, start hitting Amari Cooper a little bit more.
Gotcha. Yes, I think he got 1 catch, 6 to 8 yards, something like
6
that.
yards.
Jared Cook, 180 yards. Did anyone expect that? Did you expect that? That was something different. I didn't really expect that. I am curious though about the Broncos running backs. What are they gonna do? Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman and Devontae Booker, the one who beginning of the season everyone thought was gonna probably be the starter, and now he's got the least amount of touches
Yep.
out of all 3 backs. How do you feel about that?
I thought there was an uncomfortableness in his first week Braves game. He started losing touches because of that. He just wanted to take it slow. Does he raise after that though? He hasn't done really anything. Does he get a higher workload this week?
That's a question to see. I'm sure he's got to show it, throughout the week in practice to be able to make them, confident in him again. I am curious, can Case Keenum maintain this offense? They looked explosive. Emmanuel Sanders looked great again. I loved seeing that. Demaryius Thomas, welcome back, man. You were a great wide receiver.
I think they really could if they draw a lot of positives. I'm going to switch it around saying Broncos 2013.
2013. And I also have the Broncos. I got them 28-14. I think Case Keenum he's the real deal, man.
Real deal.
He showed it at the Vikings. He grew up, man. And now coming over to the Broncos, showed you game 1 that he's able to take this responsibility against it. Not the best defense. I believe they played the Seahawks, isn't that right?
Broncos last week?
Yep.
I think they did.
Next matchup, we got Giants versus the Cowboys. The battle of the running backs.
The running backs. Oh, man.
And Odell, of course, Don't forget about him, right?
Don't forget about Odell.
Who's more important to the Giants right now? Is it Odell Beckham or Saquon Barkley?
Odell Beckham wasn't really that man to go to, I think, last week, was he?
He got 11 receptions for 111 yards, I believe.
Saquon got what? He broke off 1
for 68 yards.
And then he's the rest.
Other than that, he was, I think, 18 carry attempts for 106 yards and a touchdown.
he took a workload. He definitely took a workload. He definitely added to it.
The only other New York Giants running back, I think there was two of them. They only got up to a total of 3 touches. He is
Harrison, that
looking
seems
like
very
the
workload.
workhorse of the Giants organization for sure. For sure. Ezekiel Elliott got 15 carries in a loss to the Panthers. Think that's going to change?
That defense, that Giants interior, is not strong. I forgot who they got over the draft. I think there was an actual positive inside. He was a D tackle, I think. He might add to the cause, but going in the long run, the Giants haven't had a good defense interior rise for a while. So if they're gonna get ran on, this is the game.
Got you. Well, that's looking good for me. Who reluctantly, actually, I don't have Ezekiel Elliott, but I would love to have Ezekiel Elliott this week. Who is more likely to be top 5 running back or the leading rusher between Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley?
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon?
He's the dude that they've been looking for. I think he's gonna average at least high 90. He's gonna have a Todd Gurley rookie season if he stays healthy. He'll definitely
Let's
be that
hope
guy.
so. He's got. I'm worried about a rookie slump, and I know Ezekiel Elliott is proven. They know better not to give him 15 carries anymore. They're gonna go ahead and up that, and they're gonna just pray that they can open up something in that wide receiver core because they have absolutely nothing going on for them. Our last matchup for the NFL portion, we got Seahawks versus the Bears. I'm curious what you think. Both teams took a loss last week. Seahawks played well, to a close loss to Denver, 27-24. Do you see the Seahawks turning things around?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely see Russell Wilson just stepping up. I got him going 35-20. The Russ being the guy that just commands that offense with 3 touchdowns and 200 yards.
Oh, dude, who's gonna win between Giants and Cowboys? We never said that.
Oh
one.
yeah, I said Giants.
Oh, you did? Oh,
I
I
said
didn't.
Giants.
I didn't. The Cowboys
20.
gonna win 21-20.
Well, Giants are gonna
You
win
can mark me on that.
24-17. I
Oh.
think Saquon's gonna go off. He's gonna have another 100-yard plus game. I think he's probably gonna go for.
Well, I was just making sure you got the score in. We can flash back to the Seahawks versus the Bears because I want to get your thought on Khalil Mack, who got a 6-year deal, $141 million.
He's gonna show up to play. You know when
He looked
the
legit
Bears
against the Packers.
When the Bears have a linebacker, they show up.
I'm really
he gonna
curious
be
to
that-
see how that goes. I am curious to get your opinion on Mitchell Trubisky. Is he going to be able to dice up this Seahawks defense enough to get them that W?
Do they still have Earl Thomas?
Yes.
Could be a possibility. It could also be Trubisky has a couple weapons this year, but is it the right core to go against this defense? And I haven't been paying enough attention to really explain that. So I don't think Mitch Trubisky is getting this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, for me, I have the Seahawks winning 17-14.
Definitely.
I just don't see the offense doing enough. But
Definitely going 35-20. I got the Seahawks.
And that would conclude our NFL portion. Do you see any college football matchups this upcoming week?
Well, I know we got Ohio State versus
TCU.
TCU.
That'd be Saturday at 8 p.m. Go ahead and watch that.
Gophers playing this weekend.
Don't even know. Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up. Gophers.
You think the Gophers gonna win, Sam? Sam D?
Dude, I was telling you, I was watching the Wildcat, and I was saying, why didn't they just keep running it?
So if they ran the Wildcat against every team, we're winning.
I can't even.
I'm saying
unbeaten season.
I'm saying until I see it fail, I'm wondering why do you not do it, right?
Gotcha.
When they fail, then I will see why it is that they don't do it.
I was gonna say another matchup this week that's a big matchup is 12th ranked LSU at 7th ranked Auburn, which is Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Go ahead and make sure you guys catch that.
Well,
Did you figure it out who the Gophers playing?
Yeah, they're playing Miami, Ohio.
So we need to get this W.
Yeah, it's a double-A school. I mean, I think it's kind of crappy that Minnesota's first few games will always be against a double-A or even a school that just got brought up out of the double-A. Like New Mexico, for instance. I think they just joined the Sun Belt Conference.
I was gonna say I feel like a lot of teams get those really easy games in the beginning. Just get those out the way, get the nerves
Man,
out.
why
That's how
is,
it's always scheduled. Then
why
they
is
get you.
TCU playing Ohio State? That's a good game.
Yeah, but that's the
Minnesota
third.
lost
This is
to
the third.
TCU first game
This is the third
last
week,
2
right?
years ago.
They're playing
Sick.
Miami, Ohio.
Yeah,
Is that place in Miami?
it's a city of Miami that's in Ohio.
It's a city named Miami in Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you said
Crazy,
it's
right?
a city
It's
of
crazy, right?
Miami in Ohio.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
but
Oh.
they're saying that Minnesota's probably gonna win, and I'm gonna go for that. I'll go for it.
Well, I would hope so. I
I mean,
we need to start making a name for ourselves in Minnesota. We are
haven't been for a
forgotten
while.
in this
They
Big
haven't
Ten,
been-
man. I am telling you.
Exactly. It's killer being in the Big Ten. Everybody's a powerhouse.
We're gonna sign off here. Thanks for listening into Mainstream Matchups. Thanks again to Chris Young and Sam D. I'm your host, Tyler James. We appreciate your time and look forward to having you join our upcoming podcast next week. Thanks, guys.